Hey gang! Today I would like to do a little education. If I'm gonna say I'm qualified to educate on these matters. I know I've picked up a lot of subscribers who may be new to this whole transgender thing, or they're cross-dressing. Actually, some husbands have come out to their wives, and their wives have commented on some of my videos that or messaged me through Facebook that they were thankful, and they're trying to figure this thing out. So I thought I'd do a definitions just to make sure we're all on the same page. You can't tell your players without a scorecard, right? So everybody get a pen and paper, and if you're ready to learn, we'll get started. The first word I'd like to cover is transgender. Okay, now this is a hot topic, and I'm going to be doing a couple more videos in the near future about this. A lot of people are at odds over what transgender really means, but what I'm giving you today are basically dictionary definitions. Okay, they're not what I think transgender means. They're what I've read and what it's been explained to me by medical professionals transgender means. Okay, transgender means that your mind does not identify completely with the gender that the doctor said you were when you were born. It's that simple and that complex. So I'm not going to get into the 57 different genders. I'm not going to get into the non-binary genders. Okay, I don't have enough information about them to be able to speak to them. I respect them and I believe that they are there, but I'm not talking about that. This is what I'm really good at talking about. At least I think so. Okay, so this is what I'm going to talk about. So with regards to cross-dressers or transsexuals, a transgender person is probably either when they were born they had a penis and their doctor said they were a boy, but they now identify, or they identified early in life as a girl. Okay, so that's the binary genders. Okay, and the opposite for a girl who may have been born with a vagina and the doctor said, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you've given birth to a beautiful baby girl, but she thinks she's a boy. Okay, that's what that means. It doesn't mean they're going to have a sex change, and I'll get to that later, so I don't want to scare anybody. Any spouses out there who don't understand this, I don't want to scare you, okay? Now the next definition is transsexual. And that can be broken into two sub-orders of preoperative transsexual and post-operative transsexual. Now a post-operative or a preoperative transsexual is someone that, yes, they're transgender, and they want to have their genitalia changed to the opposite sex, but it hasn't been done yet. Preoperative, okay? And then of course, I won't insult your intelligence, post-operative is it's already been done. Now the next definition I'd like to cover is crossdresser. What is a crossdresser? A crossdresser in the dictionary and by society's standards, okay, is someone that wears the clothes of the opposite sex. Maybe they wear the clothes of the opposite sex 24/7 and present as a female, or a man presents as a female in public, or a woman presents as a man in public 24/7. Okay? Or maybe they wear the clothes of the opposite sex 2 hours a week and they never leave their house, but they do it because it makes them feel good, it relaxes them. Okay? You know what? Crossdresser even, comes under the head, of fetishists, people that just wear high heel shoes or stockings or ladies' underwear or ladies' outerwear for sexual pleasure. Okay, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We all got a little something going on. Everybody's got their secrets. You're not hurting anybody. Knock yourself out. It's okay with me. I don't judge anybody. Well, I may be judging someone in an upcoming video, but we'll leave that for later. Transvestite is another definition. Transvestite, and that basically means the same as crossdresser. It's not really liked by crossdressers today. It's like an older term, and it's it's Latin. It's trans means cross, vestite means vestige or clothing. Okay, so it just means you wear cross clothing. That's all. Same as crossdresser, same thing. I don't care which one you call me. Next phrase, the next word is drag queen. Now a drag queen is someone traditionally that is not me. A drag queen is someone that wears the clothing, a male that wears women's clothing and emulates a woman for entertainment purposes, and hopefully some of them do it for free and they just do it because they love it, but some of them are trying to make money at it. Okay, so they're performers and they're trying to do it to benefit from it in some way, and also to fulfill the creative feelings that they have. Drag queens stereotypically are thought of as being gay men, but that's not necessarily true. Okay, there's quite a few of them. It's a minority that are straight men. They just happen to look really good in a wig and makeup, and they sing. Some of them even sing. They don't even lip sync. They sing. They have female voices. Anyway, that's a drag queen. Or a drag king would be a woman that wants to dress as a man for a performance. Okay, simply that's the performers in us. Okay. Now here's some words that have a derogatory meaning. Okay, you never want to call your spouse a tranny. A tranny is a word obviously shortened from transvestite or transsexual, that refers to someone that is in working in pornography. Okay, that was just a slang term that they coined for males who emulated the female gender in pornography were called trannies. She-male. Now she-male is also probably in pornography, could be a prostitute that has probably breast implants and a penis and hips and looks just like a girl for all intents and purposes, but they also have a male sex organ that functions, and they call them she-males. Okay, I'm not a she-male. Anyway, so we're clear on that. I'm going to tell you guys what I am, or what I believe I am, here when we get done. A sissy is another word that is thrown about, and it's not looked upon as the greatest thing in the world, but I'm not going to judge. A sissy is a submissive crossdresser that oftentimes dresses and behaves in a submissive manner, like a little sissy girl is the way they say it, for sexual pleasure, and it doesn't make them weird or sick or anything else. It's just something that they do for stress relief, if for lack of a better term. So now you got all those words. You can replay the video. I'm not going to repeat them. Now we're going to get into some medical terms. And the first one is gender dysphoria. Okay, gender dysphoria. And that doesn't sound good. I don't like that. It bothered me when I first thought that I might have gender dysphoria, until I opened up a dictionary and looked up the definition of dysphoria, and it is simply a dissatisfaction with life. Okay, so I went, you know what? That's pretty cool, because I kind of relate to that, because until I came to terms with what I am, I was dissatisfied with my life. And I had no reason to be dissatisfied with my life. I couldn't figure out. I thought it was just because I was so driven to success that I hadn't reached the success that I wanted yet. But that wasn't it. Okay, my dysphoria or dissatisfaction with life has disappeared in the last few months, since I've been on hormonal replacement therapy, and that actually got into my brain and has alleviated the dysphoria, because my brain was lacking some hormones that it really wanted, and now it has them, so it's happy. Okay, it's not a gender dysphoria is not a mental illness, even though I'm standing there talking about my brain. It's not a mental illness. In 2012, up until 2012, the folks that thought it was a mental illness called it a mental illness. The psychologists who were members of the group that's in charge of naming mental illnesses said it was. But in 2012, they changed it. They realized they were wrong, and it's no longer considered a mental illness. Okay, good enough. Beat that one up enough for you. Okay. The next one is sex dysphoria. And this one's going to give me, because I'm differentiating between the two, a lot of transsexuals are probably going to unsubscribe. But I believe I have gender dysphoria. Obviously, female hormones and testosterone blockers making me feel great. Gotta be some proof there. But I don't have sex dysphoria. I'm not planning on having my genitalia changed, okay, or any parts of my body removed, okay. I mean, it would be wonderful if I could have my body shaped like a woman's, and so it could be easier for me to present as a woman. But I'm not worried about my sex organs. I'm happy with them the way they are. But I pretty sure I definitely identify with the female gender. So now you got that. The next term that you may hear that the transphobic people or people that don't understand us will throw out, a lot of priests throw this out, and they tell us, this is what's really wrong with you, Rachel. You have body dysmorphia. Now, body dysmorphia is a real term, and what it means is that I have a distorted view of my body when I look in the mirror or look at a picture of myself. I don't see what is really there. I see something else. A good analogy for this is like if you look in a sideshow mirror at the circus or the carnival and it's all distorted. Okay, it's not the same as anorexia, but I guess you could say that an anorexic has some form of body dysmorphia where they look at themselves and think they're fat when they're really not. Anyway, body dysmorphic people, it is a mental illness, and they can show up at the doctor's office one day and say, "Doctor, I need you to remove this hand. It's not mine, and I don't know why it's there, but it's not mine, and I don't want it anymore." Okay, that's something that a body dysmorphic person might say. Not all of them, but that's what body dysmorphia is. Okay, the next term that a lot of transgender folk don't like is autogynephilia. Okay, it's two words, autogynephilia, and a doctor quite a few years ago, a psychologist, in an effort to understand transsexualism or transgender nature, interviewed a bunch of transgender people, predominantly from one nightclub that he knew about where he could find them often, and came up with the belief or the diagnosis of autogynephilia. And what he got from those girls that he interviewed was that they were simply men who fantasized about being a woman, and that thought of being a woman pleased them to the point of sexual gratification and, masturbation, fantasizing about themselves being a woman. So autogynephilia has this, it's all about, it's like a little sex quirk. Okay, and that's what he came up with, and we're really not transgendered, we're just autogynephiliac, if you will. I don't think I am, okay? But some of us kind of, when we get into puberty and we do the things that kids in puberty do, and maybe we're doing it while we're cross-dressed, start thinking that there's something wrong with us and we're sick and there's something wrong with us and we may suffer from autogynephilia. And most of us grow out of that like everybody else does when they leave puberty. And, and then they find out they're not. But I don't want anybody to, freak out and think that that they have that condition. We're not even sure if it's a real condition, but that was his idea. Anyway, not naming any names. I'm pretty much done. I think I got them all. I think I beat them all up. What am I? I'm a crossdresser. Okay, technically, I'm a crossdresser. I believe that there's a small portion of my brain that is so small that you have to wait for me to stop using my brain and cut it out of my head to see it. But if you measured it, you would see that it was the same size as a genetic woman's. It's called the bed of the stria terminalis, and it's either within or near the hypothalamus of my brain. Anyway, I believe that mine is about the size of a genetic woman's and not the size of a man's. And when I'm not using my brain anymore, I'm going to let somebody cut it open and see. I need to be careful occasionally because I may not even be using it right now. Anyway, little joke, very little. Am I dysphoric? I was, and I could be again, I think, if I stopped taking my HRT. Okay, so I'm a crossdresser and I was gender dysphoric. Am I transgender? Yeah, I am. I believe I am. Am I a transsexual? No, I am not. Okay, so now you know what I am and what I am not. I hope you guys can put some of these words in to your thoughts and think about, if you can identify with what these are and get a little better understanding of it. And if you guys want to come on the comments and tell me you think I'm an idiot, go for it. And if you like what you hear, let me know, and please don't forget to subscribe. Hey, before I go, I'd like to talk about a new website that I have been invited to be a contributor on, called sisterhouse.net, and we will post it at the end of the video so you can read it again. A wonderful lady named Tazi has put this website together along with a lot of different contributors, and it's all about transgender issues, cross-dressing issues, targeted towards the cross-dresser or the spouse, okay, or any ally or anybody that wants to check it out, okay. It's a great resource for gender therapists because there's a lot of really good information on it. It's not just opinion, it's it's professional medical and information from intelligent sources. And anyway, she's gonna pick and choose my videos that she thinks will fit in with her website, and you'll be able to see them there too. Anyway, I'm gonna go now, and with my my heartfelt goodbye, love and peace to all, and let's just try to accept one another for who we are.